The original plan was just to do one of these. Before I got done with the first 100 days, I only planned to do one. I just had so much fun making that first video. Yeah, I said while I was editing that we're definitely going to be doing more, and yeah, I'm going to be doing more 100 days on this series in particular, and I'm going to be bringing in some other ideas for 100 days as well. Hopefully some that you've not seen before as well. I know everyone is jumping on this at the minute. Everyone's making these videos. I know I'm going to try my best though to do some different ones, to do some that I've not seen before. I also want to try and get quicker at making these videos. This one took me 3 weeks. This one took me about 3 weeks. The first one that I made took me 2 months. I want to try to get quicker at doing these without lowering the quality at all. I'm going to be prioritizing these a little bit more now too. Before, it was kind of a thing that I would do between streams and between making Let's Play videos. It was just a thing that I would do on the side. I want to put this more in front now, have it as one of my main things that I'm doing at the minute. But anyway, this is 200 days Minecraft hardcore with only half a heart. Oh, before we get into the world though, there's one quick thing I wanna show you guys. I did to my world. I added Sly Slime's half heart data pack to my half heart world. This wasn't on the first 100 days. I basically just turned off natural regen and loaded up a hardcore world and jumped off something until I had half a heart. So before, if I used totems if I'm dying, or if I ate golden apples, I would still regen health even if I had natural regen off. If I have this pack on here, I actually won't regen health at all. I can pop a totem and I will stay at half a heart when all of the effects run out. Anyway, here we are back in the world. So first thing I did, I turned shaders on. Okay, first thing I did, I turned shaders on in the world. I wanted to walk around and have a look at everything that we had built in the previous 100 days. See how they all looked with shaders on. The outside looked pretty cool. The inside though looked, it was a bit too moody for me. I'm sure there's settings I could mess with to change that. It looked like I was expecting someone though. Couldn't really see Gadget in there either. He was hiding in the grass. Hard to see him. I spent the first day anyway looking around, like I said, and I was trying to get myself familiar with things again. I organized my inventory, threw a bunch of things in the auto sorter, and just got myself all ready to play again. I got my butt moving on day 102 though. I wanted to get totems. So I got a boat. I got in a boat and I just went. I needed to find a Pillager Outpost. I'd not seen one just yet. Nothing all too special happened on day 102. I turned my render distance up a little bit though. I was only playing on 12. I turned it up so I could hopefully spot a Pillager Outpost from further away. I guess I found some cool terrain on this day. There's some pretty cool mountains on this seed. Oh, I found a witch hut too, actually. I found a witch hut. I killed the witch, I took the cords, and maybe we come back here in the future, make a farm. Who knows? Found a beehive on day 103. I found a few of these. I think there was one right next to my house, now that I'm thinking back while editing as well. But yeah, I grabbed this beehive anyway. I made myself a campfire. I put the campfire underneath. I broke the beehive when there was some bees that had gotten in there, and there was another bee. There was 2 of them in the hive. There was one still out. For some reason I shot this one. I don't know why. That was so stupid. It wasn't mad at me. Could have easily have missed all of these shots and it could have killed me. I took the bee out and I got the beehive with the other 2 bees. Am I the only one who gets excited when I find a pink sheep? I don't know. Every single time I find one of these guys, I take a screenshot and I stand there staring at it for like 20 seconds. I don't know. I found a pink sheep on day 103 anyway. I chased a couple foxes this day too. I knew it was gonna take a while to find a Pillager Outpost. Probably not helping them doing stupid stuff like shooting bees and chasing foxes. But yeah, it took me a good few days to find a Pillager Outpost. I was kind of walking in a circle around my base area. I was trying not to go crazy far away. Oh my god, day 104 was bad. I was walking through this dark oak and there was a skeleton right there. I jumped in the water. I had no clue what to do. I was panicking like crazy. The stupid thing shot me a couple times and I didn't die. Okay, so if you have good armor, and it's enchanted with protection and stuff, you can actually take hits and not lose any damage at all, which is luckily what happened there. Took me a little while to stop clinging onto my shield. Then yeah, that was bad. I was really scared there. You know, actually, it was bad and good. I did find this portal ruin here, and oh my god, the loot in this chest. I found a enchanted golden apple and a regular golden apple. Crazy, crazy, crazy lucky. I planned on just walking around with those in my hotbar from now on. When I eat the golden apples, I actually get a couple more hearts temporarily. There is no regen. Like I said, there's no regen. I won't get any permanent hearts. Yeah, you do get a couple more because it's just what the apples do. I was gonna walk around with these things. Hopefully keep the enchanted one for the Ender Dragon at some point in the future. I was getting a suspicious amount of luck. There was another pink sheep. Day 105, up on the hill, there was a pink sheep. I sheared the first one, by the way, so we had some pink wool from the first one. I sheared this one as well. I don't know why. Where I was shearing the pink ones. At the end of day 106, I finally found a Pillager Outpost. The plan was to actually find one of these things and then go back home and build something so I could safely take out a raid without taking damage. And then come back over here and get Bad Omen from a Pillager Captain somehow. And then go back to the base and do the raid at that safe place that I had constructed. I don't know why I wanted to do it like that. It was really, really complicated way of doing things. But that was the plan. I dotted down the codes for the Pillager Outpost and I started to head home. I realized I was going the wrong way. I did find a ruined portal on the way back. I think I'm going to get excited every time I see one of these from now on in this series because of that enchanted golden apple. We didn't get that lucky this time again, sadly, but yeah. Oh well. I made it back home right at the end of day 107 and yeah, I started to sort out my inventory and just get myself ready to do the raid farm. I got in a boat and I tried to pick a place out on the ocean to do it. I thought this was a good spot. It took me a little while to get this finished. I was going back and forth between the base a whole lot, between the house to grab materials to do this, and yeah, I was going back and forth on boat, right? I heard this sound. Scared the heck out of me. Pufferfish can get you really quick. Like pufferfish can get you really quick. So I started to get worried now going back and forth on boats. I decided to make a temporary bridge from my house area over to the raid farm, and yeah, we didn't have to deal with pufferfish after that got made. Let me try my best to explain how this raid farm was supposed to work. Okay, we were supposed to bring Bad Omen over here. There was going to be a villager in a pod right in the middle. The raids were going to spawn in on this platform that I'm stood on right now. And they were going to try to run to the villager. Then they would drop down into a little water chute, which would push them all into one area. And then I could kill them in that one area. I did test this in creative a good few times, and it worked great. It worked perfectly. There's not going to be any tutorial in the description for any design like this though, because it doesn't quite go according to plan. Okay, you'll see here in a little bit. So no links to this design. Pretty much built it myself anyway. Actually needed some more iron. I'd run out, and I needed some more to make some rails and a minecart to put a villager in to get it up there. So I took a break from building it up, and I went into my strip mine, and I ended up digging into this area here. There was some diamonds. I just dug around for some iron the rest of this day, and it was pretty much the same the day after. Just digging. Yeah, nothing special. This tunnel was starting to take quite a while to run through now too. Probably a smart idea to start another tunnel. Anyway, I started to get myself sorted with these rails. I installed a blast furnace in the wall here too. I kept putting it down and breaking it and putting it back in storage. Might as well just have a place for it, right? Anyway, I grabbed a villager from the village that we lived at for a little while, and I made a move. I stopped off at this island here so I could build a stairway going up to the bridge that we'd made going over the ocean, and I was gonna run rails over top to get the villager in the farm. So I put in all the rails that I had made, and I get the villager out of the boat. Get him on the boat. I get him in the minecart, and he was off. I didn't quite have enough rails to get him all the way. He stops here in just a sec. Yeah, I break the rails behind the villager, and I replace them in front of him though. I get him up to the pods eventually, and I push him into where his bed is. Villagers are normally a big pain. This went surprisingly smoothly though. Last few things we needed to do was place in some trapdoors right here. I also broke some of the bridge leading over to the farm. I broke the stone, and I was gonna replace the stone with leaves because pillagers can't spawn on leaves. So we were just gonna use this to walk on to get over to the farm, and not have to worry about them spawning outside on the stone bridge. Day 18, and we were off. We needed to go get Bad Omen, so we needed to go back to that Pillager Outpost. I found a portal ruin on the way. Got distracted. I had a look in there. There was nothing all too great. It takes about a day to get from the house to the Pillager Outpost, and then a day to get back. It's quite a long trip. You can actually get there by boat though. Like, you don't need to walk at all. There is water the whole way, which is pretty cool. I got there at the end of day 119, and I decided to pillar up and try to shoot down on the pillagers to get Bad Omen. They were despawning too. Like they if you just left them alone, they were despawning, and a captain did eventually end up spawning in. I wanted to get a tier 3 raid, which meant we had to kill 3 pillager captains total. I did end up getting 3 of them. And yeah, I made my way back to the base then. And can I just say, the sinking feeling that I get here in a minute, it was so bad. I was so sad, okay? With what happens here in a sec. I finally make it back with Bad Omen free. I make my way towards the raid farm to get it going. The raid bar starts to... The raid bar starts to slowly go up, and then you never guess what happens. Okay. It just poofs. I was so sad. All that time I spent building this thing, and I didn't want to risk going back. I was so mad. I didn't want to risk going all the way back, getting Bad Omen, and then coming over here and the same thing happening. I tried this in creative so many times, and it worked fine. I don't know what happened. But yeah, this was a whole big waste of time. Oh, and I ate that golden apple too. Luckily I didn't eat the golden enchanted apple. That would have been really bad. Would have totally wasted it. But yeah, I ate a golden apple. Made myself some more golden apples, and I went back to the village, got myself a villager and a boat, and I was off. I decided I was gonna go try and get totems near the outpost instead. I was gonna set something up near the outpost, not all the way back here. I spent pretty much all of day 1, 2, 3 looking for a place to do something. I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do at the time. Yeah, I was looking for a flat-ish area. Ended up going over here. The Pillager Outpost is just over the hill in front of me. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty good spot. I started to make this trap here. I dug out some space in the floor, and I put some water pushing into the center so the pillagers would jump in, right? And they would fall down the hole, and then I could kill them down there. Or they could just die from the fall damage. I needed to put the villager in a pod, so I dug out some little, I got rid of the water, dug out a little area, put some leaves down there, pushed the villager in, and I boxed them up. That's where our villager was gonna stay. I put the water back then. Oh, I buried a bed too in a hole. I almost forgot about the bed, so I stuck it in a hole. The raid wouldn't start if there was no bed, I don't think. Yeah, I put that in there. So I thought I was ready. I went and I tried to get Bad Omen on day 25. I didn't have any luck on day 25 though. Day 26 rolled along, and I did get a Pillager Captain, and I got Bad Omen. I decided to leave it at tier 1, the tier 1 raid, instead of wasting time trying to kill 3 captains and then have it not work, you know. I ate the golden apple before I got to the raid trap, and when I got there, nothing happened. Yeah, nothing happened. I assumed it was because the villager couldn't get to the bed. So I moved the bed in with the villager, and yeah, the raid triggered. I made this little area over here. I made a ladder going down, topped myself up with a golden apple, and yeah, down here I could block myself off from the ladder, and I made this little magma trap with a bell. If you ring the bell, You can highlight the raid mobs up there, see where they're at. Started out working pretty good. Okay. I did switch the magma blocks out. I was a little bit worried that the magma was gonna make it so we wouldn't get totems. I thought they maybe had to be player kills. Turns out they don't have to be player kills. They can die however, and you can get totems. The Ravager though. The Ravager, I didn't think about the Ravager. I didn't make a way to kill the Ravager here, so he was just sitting around at the top. And yeah, that was a bit of an issue. Yeah, really should have thought about the Ravagers. It happened again anyway. Ravager got stuck, and I run up, but oh my god, there was an evoker. And they summoned in their stupid Vexes, and one started chasing me. One tap, and that is it. I'd probably be dead. Yeah, this was a big issue though. Big issue. I go back down to check what we got, and there was our first totem. Sat there, our very first totem. I managed to get a second totem not too long after, and this is when it kicks off. Okay, I go up, there's another build up. So I go up, and there's an evoker. Spawns in their Vexes, I lag it. And yeah, I spin around trying to shoot a few of them, but I end up popping my first totem. I thought this was it. I felt safe for like a sec. This guy pops my second totem. So I start running around on the boat. They're chasing me. It wasn't looking very good. I was panicking like crazy here. Luckily the dude stops. I decided to eat my golden enchanted apple. I was panicking, okay? I ate my golden enchanted apple. I thought I could deal with it after eating that, but yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't. They got me down again. Yeah, so I decided to grab my bed and I jumped in a boat and I left. I just left. I needed time to think, and I went home. Live another day, right? I headed down my mine and I spent a good few days just mining. I wanted to get gold for golden apples, and I wanted to get iron for my plan. Okay, I had a plan. My plan was to make iron golems and to make them deal with my mess. Okay, I was gonna spawn in golems and let those deal with the raid mobs. I thought it was an okay plan. So I took my golden apples and my plan, and I headed back. I was a little bit nervous when I approached the island. I wasn't too sure what to expect. So I spawned in a single golem, and I retreated to the hill that was just behind me, so I could watch. Took him a little while to spot the mobs. Eventually, seen them though. Didn't last very long. He died pretty quick, sadly. I had enough iron to spawn 2 more golems in. I spawned them both at the same time, and I decided to help them out. I started shooting a little bit here. Luckily, no Vexes came to ruin my day this time. Yeah, anyway, the golems cleaned out the mess up top. I went down to have a look, and there was 2 mobs left from the raid. I took them out, and we were done. We had 1 totem. We had gotten 1 totem out of that whole mess. So as you can imagine, I wasn't very happy with just the 1 totem. I went and made the hole bigger to fit the Ravagers down this time. I installed a little collection system down here too, and I got Bad Omen again. I went with just the 1 tier of Bad Omen again, and yeah, it worked so much more smoothly this time around. If I had thought about the Ravagers in the first place, we wouldn't have had all of those issues, and we would have saved a bunch of time. We're at day 37 right now, and I have 1 totem. But this worked so much better. We ended with a total of 6 totems, so I was happy. It had gotten nighttime while we were doing all that, and I'd slept down there, and I picked up, and oh my god, there was 2 creepers and a skeleton. I freaked out. Ended up digging a tunnel from my safe space to the ocean here, and yeah, that's how I sneaked away. So with my pockets full of totems, I headed back. Like I said, it takes about a day to get to or from the raid farm. When I got home, I had this thing, right? We had to tear down. It was pointless still being. I took it down. It was a mess. It took a good few days. Took a good few days to break this thing down. Finally got it done though. I returned the villager that was in there to the village. Accidentally smacked him, and there was like 4 golems at this village. Yeah. Luckily, they weren't mad at me though. They weren't mad at me. We were fine. I think I was far enough away from them. They just didn't care. Remember that island I'd stopped at with the villager when I was making that raid farm? I stopped and I made a staircase going up to the bridge to get the villager up into the raid farm. I decided to build something here to remember all of that chaos. I'd made like a villager looking thing. I thought it looked pretty cool. A villager. There was a hole as well, like a grave that I kind of left. I don't know what it was for. Maybe it was for me eventually. Yeah. I decorated the place though, added a bunch of flowers around and bushes, and I made these lights on either side. I think it turned out pretty good. It's a little bit random, but I think it looks pretty good. It was actually the first thing that we'd built in this episode too. I spent the rest of day 146 looking around. I wanted to build a iron golem farm, and I was looking for a good spot to do that. I didn't have any more iron, like, at all, and I needed to make some shears to make the iron farm, so I went down into the mine, and I looked for some bits of iron. Got the iron, got the shears, shipped sheep, and made a start. There's a link in the description to the design if you fancy giving it a watch and building this thing yourself. It's a pretty good iron farm. We needed 3 villagers for this thing. Villagers normally are a big pain, right? They're a big pain. This went surprisingly smoothly though. There was like no issues. I got them all in their pods. No problem at all. So I spent day 149 and day 50 working on getting those guys in their pods. We needed to get a zombie as well. We need to get a zombie. The zombie was to scare these guys and to make golems, make them want to spawn in golems. So I headed out on my boat, lingered around the edges of the land until one spawned in. That wasn't around any other mobs. I threw the helmet so it wouldn't burn when it got daytime. Picked up the helmet, and this one actually can pick up blocks too, so we didn't need a name tag for it. If it's holding a block, then it won't despawn. So now it won't despawn and it won't burn when it gets daytime. I did make a bit of a mess trying to get the zombie into the pod. It went relatively smoothly though, there was no issues. Jumped in the pod, closed the trapdoor on him. Had my first golem spawning on this day too. Had my first golem. We didn't have a way to kill them just yet. I needed to make a pit. I dug a pit down. I put some signs and some lava in the pit. Put some trapdoors around the edges too, so they thought they could walk off onto the trapdoors and they would fall down into the lava. Last thing I did, added a hopper with a chest, and we were golden. We were getting iron now. All done. Nothing much happened on day 152, just tidying my mess. So I started something on day 153 though. It was a big disaster. There was a load of disasters in this video, but I started doing something here that was just another big wasted time. Okay, I wanted a mob farm, and I did this little area here. I was gonna make like a dark room underneath the base. I think if I was in a regular world and I lit up caves around this area, it would have worked okay, but yeah, I just, yeah, it was it didn't work very good. I did a little collection system and I left it alone for a little bit, see if it would do anything. Spent some time chopping some trees for future projects, and I made like a little pumpkin patch too, just out front of the house. I was just lingering around, check my iron farm, and we'd gotten a little bit of stuff. Went to check on the mob farm, but like I said, this thing was a big waste of time. We got one bone. This is super bad. I wanted to start using golems to fight my battles for me. I was carrying around pumpkins and iron all the time so I could spawn those guys in to fight mobs when I needed to. They don't fight creepers though. I had a few run-ins with creepers here. I wanted to light up some caves underneath the house. See if that would help out our mob farm a little bit. Make it spawn things in a little bit quicker. So at some point, I had lost my bow. Okay, I'd run down the durability on the bow and I had broke it. So I didn't have a bow at this point. There's a zombie right here and I spotted a skeleton down there. So before I carried on lighting up this cave, I wanted to get myself a new bow. I went to the village, traded myself an infinity book, put it on a new bow, and I went back down the cave. This was where that skeleton was. And I was really nervous here. I end up spotting the skeleton and I start, see his head right there, there he is. I start trying to build something around myself. And the stupid thing manages to get me. He pops another totem. Right here. and I panic, I run off. Stupid thing's still shooting at me, I'm holding a totem, luckily. Like I said, if we were in a regular world, then lighting up caves would be no issue. That little mob farm that we built would probably produce a little bit of stuff. Right, a little bit more than what we're getting right now. Yeah. I found a bow though, that skeleton dropped a bow. It had power 3 on it, so that was a nice upgrade from our infinity bow. That little bit of lighting up didn't do anything though. Yeah, didn't really do anything. The reason why I wanted a mob farm was because I needed gunpowder so that when I go to fight the Ender Dragon, we could pillar out to the end cities, getting a elytra before we actually fight the dragon. Then we'd have rockets to be able to fly around, right? So we could fight the dragon in the sky. I started to put together some redstone components here. I really hate crafting redstone bits. Not super expensive, but they're just a pain to make, I think. Day 160 was nothing special. I just put a box together full of those redstone bits. I chopped down some trees, and yeah, the mob farm that we had built, it wasn't cutting it, right? So I went and I found a place to build a proper big one up in the sky here. I started to pillar up with some cobblestone. I made a little platform where the mobs would drop down on and die, where we would collect the loot. If you want to build one of these yourselves, then there will be a link in the description to the design that I'm using. It's basically just one of those observer dispenser tower mob farms. This took quite a while to make. This took a good few days to make. While I'm editing here, I'm starting to realize just how much fun I was having throwing myself off this stupid thing. Jumping into the water down here. This did take a whole lot of cobblestone. Now, it took way more cobblestone than I actually had, so I had to spend a day down in the mines gathering some more cobblestone. Anyway, mob farm was done, and day 176, I decided to go and do a bit of exploring. I felt like exploring. I wanted to find a treasure map. I got in a bit of a pickle here with the local drowned. Giving me some trouble. Yeah, I wanted to find a treasure map anyway. I wanted to go find some buried treasure. Managed to dive down and grab this chest. There was one of those buried treasure maps in there. I got back in my boat, had a look at the map, and I started to head where I thought it was. It turns out I was going the wrong way. Yeah. So I quickly turned around and I went back. The map took me to this portal ruin. I'd been to this and passed it a bunch of times. Didn't take me too long to find the treasure. There was a couple diamonds in the Nautilus shell. I continued to look for some shipwrecks and underwater ruins. I really didn't have anything I was looking for in particular. I just wanted to explore and get some random bits of loot. I did get distracted on day 178. I found these turtles. I got myself some seagrass and I bred them in the little hole here. If you have silk touch, you could pick up turtle eggs. So I sat around till I had 7 of these things. When I got done, I did release them though. I punched them back into the ocean. Yeah, and I got tired. I got tired of exploring on day 179, and I headed back home. This was another one of those things that I regretted doing, because oh my god, did it take a long time for these things to hatch. I went and I got myself some dirt, and I made a platform out on the ocean here, because they only hatch at nighttime, so I couldn't sleep if I wanted them to hatch, right? When they hatch and they grow up to be adults, they drop scoots. So I wanted to get myself some of the scoots. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. I'm not sure if I'm saying scoots right. Is it scut? Scut or scoot? I don't know. I have no clue. Yeah? Anyway, I had to stay up at night and I decided to just do something productive, chop some trees. Yeah, like I said, this took quite a while for these stupid things to hatch. Okay, on day 183 I heard this sound. And oh my god. I freaked out. Yeah. These guys hit pretty hard. I grabbed myself some of my acacia logs and I made a really janky roof to stop them from getting to me, so phantoms had spawned in, right? I hadn't been sleeping for a good few days. Trying to get those turtles to hatch. I was not ready for these guys. I totally forgot that they were a thing. Managed to take out a couple of them though, and I got myself a phantom membrane out of it as well. Oh, one of the turtles hatched too. So I gave it some seagrass because it speeds up the growth then for the turtles, and it grew up. And I got the scoot and I released it. During the day, while I was waiting for the turtle eggs to hatch, I was running over to the mob farm as well, loading this thing. I figured what we would actually do with this is when I wanted to run it, I would run it when it was nighttime, because I actually sleep as soon as I get the chance. I sleep as soon as I get the chance. So we wouldn't be losing any of our daylight, right? If I did sit around this thing at nighttime anyway. I couldn't really hang out with the phantoms at nighttime and chop trees, so I built like this little box thing that I can stand on under here and watch the turtles. A few of them hatched this night. We got 3 more hatches. Gave them some seagrass, got the scoots, and I released them. I had a message. I stopped to check my phone here, and yeah, this guy nearly gets me. Okay, if I was a few seconds later, I would have for sure popped a totem there and potentially have died. The 2 more eggs hatched that night. There was 1 egg left. I actually totally forgot to hit record on day 186 until it was nighttime, so I have no daytime footage, sadly. I did manage to get a skeleton to drop a Unbreaking free bow, and I combined that with my bow. That's why I have like no levels right now. Also got the scoots from those other 2 turtles. And finally, the last turtle hatches. I stuff its stupid face with seagrass. I really regretted doing this. It took up a lot of days, and I didn't really need the scoots or the turtle helmet. Spent the rest of day 187 just tidying my mess, getting rid of the dirt that we had placed, dragging our resources that I had collected back to the house. I wanted to build something to remember the whole turtle thing for whatever reason. So I got myself some stone. I cooked up some of it to make smooth stone. I did get distracted though. There was a pillager patrol here. I started shooting at the things, and I got bad omen. I thought, sure, why not? We'll go to the raid farm. We'll get some more totems. I'd use a couple at this point. It went kinda smoothly. I didn't get into any trouble or anything really. I got 5 extra totems out of it, which was nice. For some reason though, I couldn't, like when I was ringing the bell, I couldn't find the last raider. I'm not entirely sure why. It wasn't showing up when I was ringing the bell, but yeah, I went and I broke the bed anyway to end the raid. And something happened here. I put it back down anyway. When I came up here then, see that? That guy could have easily ruined my day then. Luckily he did not though. I don't know where he came from, but oh well. Got 5 extra totems. And I headed home. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to build something to remember the whole turtle fiasco anyway. So I started placing blocks and placing a bunch of bushes and flowers around. I wanted to make a pile of turtle eggs. A pile of turtle eggs made out of stone. I do end up making it a little bit taller later on. I pop a totem while making this too. Yeah, I was happy with the way it turned out in the end. I thought that looked pretty good. I got curious on day 194. I went to check the loot from the mob farm that we had built underneath the base, and yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot there. I poked my head in, and I planned on going ahead and lighting the area back up, so there was no mob spawning, and there was less going on around the base. There was a bunch of bats, though, and this was something I regretted starting as well. There was so many of those things in this episode. I regretted starting, and yeah, I wanted a pet bat, okay? So I needed a name tag, so I could name the stupid thing so it wouldn't despawn, right? This took up, trying to get a name tag, fishing for a name tag, took up the rest of my 200 days. And I didn't end up getting one, okay? I didn't end up getting a name tag, sadly. Last thing that I did was I updated the 100 that was underneath the house to look like a 200. The 2 looks a little bit janky. I tried, okay, that was actually like my 10th attempt at doing a 2. in survival here. Yeah, I had so much fun making this video again. I really like doing these 100 days videos. Had so much fun doing the first one. I had so much fun doing this one. I want to do more of these. The next one, I think what we're gonna do in the next 100 days is we're gonna do a dragon fight, hopefully, in this world. We'll see how that goes. If I die, then I will still show you the footage, I guess. Yeah, like I said, I wanna get faster at making these videos. I wanna maybe go down to one every 2 weeks. I don't know if that's gonna ever happen with me juggling other things as well. But I do definitely not want to take 2 months every single time I want to make one of these videos. But anyway, this has been 200 days, half heart hardcore. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.